Hey everyone, this is Mrs. Burkham, and in this video we're going to talk about dividing using area model. So first thing let's do is read our problem. It says a florist had 92 flowers in her shop. If she bundles the flowers into groups of 4, how many bundles will she make? So I'm going to go through and kind of underline the important things. So I know she has 92 flowers in her shop. She separated those flowers into groups of 4. And I'm wondering how many bundles she will make. Okay, so I know I have 92 flowers. I know they are being separated into groups of 4. And I know that we're wondering how many bundles there will be. So I need to set this up to represent a division problem. So before I can do that, I need to think of what are the parts of a division problem. So one of the first parts is a dividend, which is the large number that is being separated into smaller groups. So for this problem, my large number is my 92 flowers because I need to take those 92 flowers and separate them. Okay, so these 92 is my dividend. Then I move on and I think about my divisor, which is the number of groups or the number that the dividend is being separated into. So I know I'm taking my 92 flowers and I'm putting them or separating them into groups of 4, which would make this piece right here my divisor. And then last but not least, I'm looking for how many bundles she will make. So this missing piece of how many bundles she would make would be my quotient, because my quotient is the answer to the division problem. It's the number of items in each group or the number of groups I have or whatever we are looking for. So this would be my quotient. Okay, so my problem is 92 divided by 4 equals B, or equals bundles, equals something. If I want to represent that in an area model, I would first put my dividend in the center because that is my amount I'm wanting to separate. Over here to the left, I would put my divisor because I am separating that 92 or that dividend into groups of 4. So my divisor, and then my B would go here, which is where my quotients would go because I don't know how many groups or how many bundles there would be. The next thing I want to do to kind of help me prepare for this division problem is set up a multiples of 4 chart. Okay, this will just kind of help me with my division problems because instead of having to think of multiples of 4, I'll have it right in front of me. So I know 1 times 4 is 4, 2 times 4 is 8, 3 times 4 is 12, 4 times 4 is 16, 5 times 4 is 20, 6 times 4 is 24, 7 times 4 is 28, 8 times 4 is 32, 9 times 4 is 36, and 10 times 4 is 40. I can also skip some right here, so next one I want to put in is 20, and I know that if 10 times 4 is 40, then 20 times 4 would be double that, so it would be 80. And then I can go ahead and add in, we'll say 25, and this makes me think of money. So I know I need 4 quarters, which are 25 cents, to make 1 whole dollar, which is 100 cents, which would mean 25 times 4 is 100. Now, if I wanted to, I could go through and fill in this space and fill in this space, but I don't necessarily have to. I just kind of put these key numbers in so that when I am dividing, it's much easier to look back for multiples of 4. So now, moving on to the area model, which we are going to use to help us divide. So we know division and multiplication are related to one another. What division does is it undoes our multiplication. Okay, so with this, as we put up there, we are doing 92 divided by 4. Okay, so with area model, it's very similar to when we use an area model with multiplication. We are going to break down our dividend into more simple multiples of 4. Okay, so what that would mean is I'm going to look at 92 and think about what is a multiple of 4 that I could easily take out of that. So I know one thing I can easily take out of 92 is 20. And I know to get that 20, it is 5 times 4. So how I would set that up is I'm taking 20 out of my 92. And to get there, I had to do 5 times 4. What I'm going to do over here is help myself keep track of it, because when I am dividing, I want to evenly divide 92 by 4. My goal is to have equal groups. So to make sure I have equal groups, I have to make sure I'm evenly separating my dividend. So I have my 92, I'm going to take away 20. 92 minus 20 would be 72. Okay, so now I think, what else is something I know I can take out of my now 72? That is a multiple of 4. So I'm going to look up here at my chart and I see, 10 times 4 is 40. And can I take 40 out of 72? Absolutely. So I'm going to add my box. And I'm taking out 40 from it. Well, to get to that 40, I had to do 4 times 10. So I'm going to take out my 40. 2 minus 0 is 2. 70 minus 40 is 30, but that's represented by the digit 3. So now I'm left with 32. I started with my 92, and I need to take away 32 more. So I've taken away 20 from my 92 and 40 from my 92. I need to take away 32 more. So now I look at my chart and I see, can I take away, is there anything that is a multiple of 4 that is equal to 32 or less? And I look here and I see, 8 times 4 is 32. So I definitely can take away that last bit of 32. And to get to that 32, I had to do 4 times 8. So I take away that 32, and I met my goal. I made it to 0. So now I am very close to solving my problem. I can check my work because these are parts of my dividend, which would mean that if I add those together, it should equal 92. That's how I know I evenly separated my dividend to where it would still have a sum of 92. So 32, 40, and 20. 2 plus 0 and 0 is 2. 30 plus 40 plus 20 would be 90, but represented by a 9. So good. So I know 20 plus 40 plus 32 equals 92. So I know I separated my 92 into parts, my dividend parts. Now what I need to figure out is my quotient. Because if you remember, my problem was 92 divided by 4. Okay? So now, to figure out my quotient, which is the answer to my division problems, I need to add these. Because if you remember, what we talked about up here is this B up at the top would be my quotient. That would mean that this is a partial quotient, this is a partial quotient, and this is a partial quotient. Now, to make it a complete quotient, I would need to add those up. So I would do 10 plus 8 plus 5. So I know that 8 plus 5 is 13. So it would be 13 units. So I'm going to leave my 3 and I'm going to carry my 10 units to my tens place. Now I know 1 plus 1 or 10 plus 10 is 20. However, I don't have to write the full 20. I write the digit 2 to represent 20, which would mean my answer is 23. So it would be 92 divided by 4 is 23. I can also check my work, because if 92 divided by 4 is 23, that would also mean that 23 times 4 should equal 92. So let's test that. So we have our 23 times 4. Well, I know that 4 times 3 is 12. And then I look and I know 4 times this, which represents, it's a digit 2, but it represents 20. 4 times 20 is 80. And when I add those together, I get 92, which makes, I did my justify, I checked it. meaning my answer would be 23 because 92 divided by 4 is 23.